Great cheers from the audience. Welcome to Build Series. I'm HuffPost Lee Blickley, and hide your champagne or maybe grab a glass or two because the star of the actual most dramatic season of The Bachelor is here. Yes, Pilot Pete is right next to me, guys, ready to break down all the turbulence that's been going down on his journey to love. And for those watching, we know there's been nothing but rough skies. So let's give a warm welcome to Peter Weber. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. It's good to be here.
Is it weird for you to sit there as I'm introducing you and, in front of this crowd?
All so crazy. Yeah, the last couple of months of my life have been insane, but very happy to be here. Feel very, very grateful. So.
Yeah, that clip has me hopeful. Is the drama past us? What's happening?
Well, that episode for sure now, and you guys are going to love that date. That's the after party from one of the coolest dates of the entire show, in my opinion. Something really close to my heart and just something I've always kind of wanted to do and never thought I'd actually do. Extremely dramatic, probably the most dramatic part of the entire show.
What? More drama?
Yeah, you guys haven't seen anything yet compared to that.
So how's it been for you? I know you were just at the Super Bowl this weekend, so that's something cool that you got to do.
Oh yeah, go Hawks.
Yeah.
I'm a huge football fan. Never thought I'd have the chance to go to a Super Bowl and, got to live that dream out. That was amazing. Life's been insane for me for the last couple of weeks, so.
Is it nuts to kind of be living in this Bachelor spiral of press tours and kind of keeping everything secret and still, making sure that whoever you picked, if you picked anyone, knows that you're still there for her? And
yeah, it's a very, just surreal experience. It's part of it's kind of cool having this. It's like you live this secret and nobody really knows what happened and you're keeping it hush hush. And then now, like a couple months after removed, I'm just like, I'm looking really forward to just being able to kind of get back to the normalcy of normal life and not having to, everywhere you go, you're tiptoeing around. You don't want anything to possibly get out about what actually happened. And I'm excited for that to come now and just get back to kind of normal life. But it's been a cool, unique experience, and I'm enjoying it, for everything that it's worth. And yeah.
Yeah, well, the good news is we found out a little bit of what happened with your scar. With some crazy, incredible footage from the hotel.
Yeah,
it was intense.
Yeah, I was stoked that they actually used the actual real footage from. That was all we had because cameras weren't rolling when it actually occurred.
Because you were just it was like a day off, right? Were you checking into the hotel?
We had just finished filming some B-roll, just like stuff around the hotel, and I was going back to my room, and the girls weren't even there yet. They were flying in the next day. And I'm getting in the golf cart and it's banging my head and it just reacts so quickly and literally stabbed myself in the face with a glass. It was like a murder scene. There was so much blood. It was insane. I thought there was probably a good chance like that was it. Journey's done. Like I don't know if we're gonna keep going. Like I literally had a 2-inch gap in my forehead. So thank God to that plastic surgeon in Costa Rica. He took good care of me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That must be crazy because you're like in Costa Rica.
We're in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah, had no idea what kind of care you'd probably receive or if you could continue on the journey.
Yeah, they were trying to airlift us out and the weather was too bad, so we couldn't get a helicopter in there, and we had to drive 2.5 hours through the mountains to get to the city, and at like 10 p.m. the surgeon there stitched me up, so.
So how long was your surgery, and then how long did it take for you to get back into the dating?
Yeah, that part actually was crazy. So it didn't delay anything. We literally had just finished our filming from that day. I go to this plastic surgeon at 10 p.m. I get stitched up, cry like a baby from like the shots that he had to do. Like it was so bad, so painful. But then got stitched up, and the next day I went on a date with Sydney. So it was just another day in the life of the Bachelor.
And I know she like accidentally bumped it, and you're like, ah!
And that actually really, really hurt. And I was like trying my best not to make her feel bad.
No. Man, well, that's just one little taste of drama that we've had so far. Let's kind of go back to the beginning because you had one of the most amazing premiere episodes that I have ever seen.
Oh, thank you.
And when Hannah B came back, it was for all of us. So interesting.
Yes.
But how was it for you? Because I know you're just starting off on this journey. You have all these hopes about what's to come, and then your ex walks in and kind of complicates things right off the bat.
Yeah, I was talking to someone, I'm like, this season is like the return of the exes in so many different cases. But the first episode started off like that, and everything about that, when she showed up the first night out of the limo, was not expecting that. It truly wasn't. It was a complete surprise. Didn't really know how to react. a little bit of me wanted her to come into the house and kind of join, but obviously that didn't happen. And then I meet her at the at that group date that she's hosting, and all I knew was that she was hosting that. I didn't know what we were doing, and so we get there. She explains it to us, and that whole conversation that occurred was never supposed to happen. I was busy writing my story down that we were gonna perform later on, and then I heard that she was in the dressing room there, and I wanted to go check on her, and then that occurred, and it was just a really raw, obviously real conversation between the two of us, and it is what it is,
Yeah, how did it feel, though, to know that you're, walking onto a date where your ex is hosting it? I mean, there's always going to be feelings. Yeah, there's going to be feelings there, but
Right.
you didn't realize that it would kind of amount to what it did in that moment.
I did not know that I would have the feelings come back the way that they did. I can promise you that. I really wouldn't have taken on being the Bachelor if I didn't truly think that I was in a spot that I was over her to be able to, give myself to the 30 or however many women I was going to meet. But, I'm human and I'm not perfect, and I was wrong. I showed up and I saw her there and everything flooded back, and I was like, shoot, this is not good. But I was just being real with everyone, and I wasn't going to lie to myself or anyone else.
Yeah. Now, hard question. If she didn't do Dancing with the Stars at that same time, do you think she would have come back to the house? Because I felt the love. I really did.
Yeah.
I did. But you guys never bring up the fact that she was shooting Dancing with the Stars, so it couldn't have worked out.
Right. I think she would have. Yeah. I guess I want to say that. I think that she would have. Yeah, I know that was kind of crazy for me to do, but that's what I was feeling in that moment. Yeah.
I know. Has it been hard kind of watching back the season and seeing, how it's difficult to make decisions as the Bachelor? It is.
Extremely. So much harder than it looks. I promise you that.
So rewatching it, has it been painful to relive all those hard decisions that maybe didn't go over well with the other women?
Yeah. So I know that I definitely fed into a lot of the drama that occurred. Looking back on it, I'm just really learning a lot about myself. And yeah, there's moments where I'm like, shoot, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Hindsight's always gonna be 20/20. When you're in that moment, you're dating so many people, so many different personalities. It's so hard. It's like, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And, but I've always just been that person that, and I'm not gonna change. I always want to see the best in people. I always want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and I did that, and it bit me, a couple times, but I would not change anything in that regard because that's just who I am.
Well, because it's hard because all the women are running to you, telling their side of the story, and then another woman comes over and
it's like, who do you believe?
Who do you believe?
I don't have any other information. All I know is what one person's saying, and then the next one says a complete 180-degree different statement. I'm like, this is insane,
Did you kind of go then by what they were telling you, or just kind of by your gut that this woman might be telling the truth, this woman might not be? It's difficult to decide.
It is, and there was a lot of times where I just realized, like, listen, if people are going to keep just saying stuff, we need to have this conversation in front of everyone so the truth can get out there. And that's the reason I did that, because I didn't want to have to keep doing this he or she said kind of stuff. But again, it was tough. I just navigated it the best way I knew how and followed my gut and my heart as best as I could, made mistakes and learned from them. And yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help that it all kind of kicked off this she said with the champagne bottle.
The champagne
that was definitely planted by producers, wouldn't you say?
I mean, yeah, it was crazy for me is that, because Hannah Ann didn't do anything on purpose, I promise you.
She's not a champagne stealer.
She's not a champagne stealer. I can guarantee you that. It was just an unfortunate situation, and
it's funny talking about it, right?
It is very funny talking about it, but that relationship is mended. I remember the first time I noticed, I realized they were friends, and I was just so confused. I was like,
I saw that this episode. I was like, they seem to be reconnecting.
Yeah.
But now, Kelsey's in a bit of drama with some other women and Tammy.
With Tammy, yeah.
I did want to talk about Alea, but now that we're on Kelsey, and what kind of happened last night, where a lot of people were rooting for Tammy. She has great one-liners. She's been a great recapper all season.
Absolutely.
So funny. But she found herself in this sort of sticky territory when she's, making claims about Kelsey's drinking or, having a breakdown. How did you feel seeing all that kind of play out? Because I know you heard about it, of course, when you were filming, but it plays out so differently for us as viewers, and it was painful to watch, to see the women kind of being so cruel to one another.
Right, and I feel like that was one of the worst things I could have done, was cancel that last cocktail party, because I thought it was helping kind of calm down the drama, and I had no idea that conversation between Tammy and Sydney had occurred, and felt bad for them. Like they were just, going at it like crazy. But in regards to the whole Kelsey thing with Tammy, more than anything, I was just worried, honestly, when Tammy was bringing that stuff up to my attention about Kelsey. It's not an easy environment to be in at all. There's so much stress. And she'd kind of given me an impression that Kelsey wasn't doing okay. So when I went to go grab Kelsey, I was just genuinely just worried about her and wanted to make sure she was okay. And that's what that was about. But yeah.
I know it can't
Love
be
can make
easy.
you go crazy, I guess.
It can't be easy to be Kelsey and come back with a rose to all those women who looked like they were ready to devour.
I kind of felt bad when I saw that come back, because I remember now, I noticed her reaction. I laughed at it last night when I was watching. I gave her the rose and she's just like, thanks. Like she realizes what she's gonna have to go back.
You probably didn't realize that you were about to put her in a
I wasn't thinking
a tough
that.
situation.
I was just like, I wanted to show her how much she means to me, and like I really do. I'm feeling her, and like I want to let her know that, and that's what I was thinking. That's what I did. And then I was like, I like literally sent her back to the lion's den, and but she handled it like a champ. She was very gracious with, I remember Tammy and when Tammy confronted her, and I was proud of her for that.
Yeah, that sure is a lion's den there, Peter.
Yes,
you got
it
some
is.
women on this show.
Or Puma Den, I guess. You can call it
Yeah.
that.
Is it hard? Is it hard for you to see them? Kind of, it's a hard environment. You went through it.
Yeah.
You're all battling for one person. Not even battling. You're just trying to fall in love. And, emotions take over. And, one girl thinks you like her more, or one girl had this kind of date. But is it hard to see how they're treating each other in the house? Because you didn't get to see that when you were filming. But it's definitely hard for like us viewers to watch.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's not something I enjoy watching, and seeing those emotions get escalated to that point. I think if there's any positive to be taken from it, it shows that it was working for all of us up to that point. If there wasn't a drama, it probably mean that no one actually really cared that much. But yeah, there was some moments there where I thought they maybe took it a little too far. That's just not my kind of personality. I'm a smaller personality in regards to like my time on Hannah's season. I never really got into it. I'm not a very confrontational person, but some people are, and yeah, it was tough to see some of that.
I know. I hope in the future seasons you just look them in the eye and say, "Stop bringing the drama in." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's just talk about us and our relationship.
Right.
Because I see little Madison hiding off by herself, kind of avoiding the drama.
Right.
Kelly has
Yeah.
been kind of solo and trying to avoid it.
Right.
You and Kelly had a great date though last night.
Yeah.
And you kind of got a little more deep into what this all ends with, which is hopefully marriage.
Yeah.
Why were you questioning her so much? What was it about the vibe she was giving you that made you think that she wasn't really into it?
Yeah. I knew, and I could tell. So I met Kelly about a month before we even started filming, and she was very hesitant of even wanting to go on then. She didn't know if this kind of whole process would work for her, if this was like suited for her personality. And then obviously she ended up coming on. So I knew the whole time that she was never in her comfort zone. And just, I guess, to answer your question, there was a lot of moments up to that point, because it took us a while to have her one-on-one. I had felt very strongly about her for a while, so that's why I was okay, waiting a while to have that with her. But there were moments where I just felt like she could have been trying a little bit harder. Maybe, I know she's not a dramatic person. She doesn't want to get involved with all that stuff, but she could have tried to stick out a little bit more, in the group. And she acknowledged it. But what I love about Kelly is like I watched that back, and her calling me out on stuff. Like that's actually a quality that I really, really love about Kelly, and just how strong of a person she is. And she's so real, and that's definitely something that I'm looking for in my person one day. So I respect the hell out of her.
I love Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm a #1 Kelly fan. Do we all like Kelly here? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to read.
Can't read
I'm
you right
always
now.
trying to read your face.
I can
like,
see you.
hey. But yeah, because she did bring up Hannah Ann too, and how the cast is younger this year.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult thing to figure out though, because every woman is ready when she's ready to get married. But did you feel that everybody was there for the quote unquote right reasons?
Right reasons, the
Or did
flight reasons.
Yeah, because I know that we still have the flight reasons. Yeah.
Who said that the first night? It was so good though.
Because we have a few more episodes left, and I'm wondering, Sheehan, when she was voted out, warned you that
Yeah, and
There
that
are
was the
some
worst
girls
thing
in
to
the
hear.
house. Yeah.
You finish a rose ceremony, and I'm so confident in that moment, and then I hear that from someone that's leaving, and it's already sad enough. But last thing I wanted to hear, there were moments where I had doubt creep in, for sure. But I just try to just stay positive and just, you know, just hope that in the end, I was going to end up with who I was meant to be with, if that was anyone. And,
We know your mom's rooting for someone because I need to know.
oh, Bar.
Who is she? Bring her home. I'm like, who is that?
Mom's very, very passionate, very emotional, very opinionated. That's
Your
the
parents
Cuban
are
in
like
her.
the star of the season. I mean,
know, right?
I mean, we haven't
They should
seen
be
them
on
in a
this
while,
poster, not
though.
me.
You know?
Yeah, you guys will definitely see them. Obviously, you'll see what all that is about. And yeah, my mom, she can't hide her feelings at all, and so it's very dramatic.
Is it Madison? Is it Hannah B?
Who's
Who
coming
else
back?
has your mom met?
Who should I not let go? I don't
Yeah.
know.
He's a hard one to read here. He's doing pretty good.
Yeah, got my poker face.
Before I get to lighter topics too, I do want to
Yeah.
talk about the Cosmo date. And Victoria F. Won that date, and she was supposed to have a digital cover. And I know that there's been some news about how she modeled for a I don't know how to say this because it will come off wrong, but she modeled for a campaign that had her wear a shirt that said White Lives Matter, and it was for marine conservation. And once they found out, they kind of pulled the cover. And I want to know how you felt about that. Clearly, you didn't know any of this would come out.
Right.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on that, and just knowing that she was involved in something that Cosmo said they don't agree with at all?
Yeah, just be completely honest. I can't really speak too much on it because I don't really know many facts about the whole situation. I just recently heard about that with the cover being removed. But, obviously during that moment too, I knew nothing about that. None of us did. All I can speak on is the time I was able to spend with Victoria throughout this experience. And I truly enjoyed my experience with her. I really feel like she's a good person, and she's got a lot of endearing qualities. And I just hope that people can form their opinion on her based off what they see, between the two of us and her time on the show. She's not perfect. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. But, yeah, that's all I can really say on that.
Yeah, because I know she had a little bit, quote unquote, scandal when she revealed that she dated Chase Rice as well, and your
Right.
face just dropped. You were like, "What the heck is?"
Oh God! Watching that back, I'm like, you idiot! Like, oh my God! The comments that I was making, like about him singing at our wedding, I just was cringing so hard at that. It was ridiculous.
Knowing, because she tells us before, or she tells the camera that she dated him, and then we had to watch you go through it. It was sad.
I'm like
Peter.
fangirling so hard too because I'm really a big fan of his. I love country music, and I'm like there getting ready to go on stage, and I'm just dancing like I'm just ridiculous. But yeah, that was a crazy turn of events. Yeah. But honestly, I didn't understand why she was freaking out so much about it. Like just laugh it off. What are we gonna do? She's not with him anymore. It was an ex. We all have exes. So, as long as she was still feeling it with me at that point, that's all that mattered. And let's move on.
I know, because it's hard too in the days of social media, where things come out while the season's airing that maybe you hadn't even known.
Right.
Is that hard for you to kind of learn things about some of these women that might make it pretty far? Again, you could be engaged to one of these women that there's news circulating around.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you were to spend too much attention to that, you could maybe drive yourself crazy. Because again, I feel like in today's day and age, yeah, anybody can have something come out. Like no one, again, is perfect. And I wasn't too concerned about that, I guess, throughout my season. I know stuff's happened with previous seasons, and now we're finding out with mine a little bit. But I think if you spend too much time on that, you're just going to drive yourself crazy. So you can only control what you can control.
So Peter, are you happy?
Well, I can say that it was a tough journey for me, but it was really a beautiful one for a lot of different reasons. The ending of it is very unexpected for me, and it was not necessarily easy, but I'm happy that I continued to follow my heart till the very last second of it, because I was dealing with stuff literally till the last second of it. But I can say
see you crying on that bed, and it just makes me so sad.
Yeah, that was a tough moment too. That was super tough, but I'm still here. You know, I made it through.
What can you tell us about what's to come? Because we have another episode, of course, on Wednesday, but just the season in general, we kind of see that, as you mentioned, the ending is not so sunny, or there's some complications.
Well, it's not true necessarily. The ending's not sunny, but
Oh, okay. There's a glimmer of hope, guys.
let's see here.
Is there going to be like a night? You know, we're getting inching closer to hometown.
Sure.
Is it getting harder and harder to cut some of the women?
Absolutely. And that was one of the biggest struggles for me, was now the relationships kind of really start to take off and get really serious. And I keep saying it almost worked too well for me, this experience. I really fell for many, many women. And I did, just being so honest. Like they were great people, and the cool thing was they were also different. And I realized I didn't really have a type. I fell for a lot of different women, and I love that. The final four, all very different, and every breakup was tough, but really they started to get super tough for me. And you're gonna see kind of the struggle that I go through. And then that last week, wow, it's crazy.
You're not gonna pull a Mesnick on us, are you?
A Mesnick?
Oh, Jason Mesnick, when he's changed his mind.
I'm not saying that, but no, I'm just talking about in regards to like the last week, and just like ending a relationship was very difficult. Yeah. And I never got good at breaking up, ever.
Well, because you experienced this journey with Hannah B, and you knew that it worked.
Yeah.
So would you say that this definitely worked for you, and would you recommend, others try it? Because it's hard. It's hard. This season has made me feel so bad for you, because it's been a really hard journey. It has. No. I'm like, come on, guys, get over the drama and just get to know Peter.
Yeah, I get that, but yes, it worked for me with Hannah. And when I say that, yeah, I fell in love with Hannah, and that's why I believe that works. You can fall in love on this show. There's no doubt about that. You get, you're with someone for just 2 months, and the only thing you're focused on throughout that whole period is just, pursuing a relationship with the two of you and focusing on that. There's a reason this works. And, getting to travel the world and do amazing things together, it creates an amazing bonding opportunities. And so, yeah, I would for sure tell anyone, if you're considering it, go on it. Try to get on it. It's a great opportunity. I don't regret ever doing it, and I'll never forget it.
Oh, that's great. And where are you heading next? We saw you in Cleveland. The girls were thrilled about that one.
Cleveland, yes. Cleveland, though, actually was
Shout out to Cleveland,
it's very
Looks
fun
beautiful.
city. Yeah, the dates were awesome there. The people are great. I actually am a fan of Cleveland.
And then you went to Costa Rica.
Yes.
So where are you heading next? Can you give us a hint?
Vámonos a un país. That's all I'll say.
Well, guys, I've tried my best to get us some spoilers.
What I'll tell you is, so not the next couple locations, but the end is one of the coolest. I've always wanted to go to this place and see specifically this thing, my entire life, and I had no idea it was happening until the day before, and so I freaked out. And it was such a beautiful, magical moment. It's kind of tied to some iffy stuff. It's not so good, but. But it was awesome. It was great. The travel on this season is great.
That's awesome. Well, we have one Twitter question and a few from the audience, but let's take Twitter first. Lexi asks, if you could choose a song to describe the Bachelor finale, what would it be? Wow.
Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna stick with. So I did a post last night, and I'm gonna stick with that. Bleeding Love. And yeah, for a lot of different reasons, you guys will understand that a little bit more as the finale airs.
Sing it together. Keep bleeding.
Keep bleeding love.
Yes, I love it.
I wish I could.
Not bad, Peter.
Yeah.
You can hold a tune. Let's get to some audience questions. Who's first?
Hey, Peter.
What's going on, man?
So this is my first season watching The Bachelor, and I'm so glad it was with you. You're such a nice, charismatic, funny guy.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say that this group of 5 people on the couch, we have a group chat called the Bacheloritas, and every Monday night we get together in the NYU dorm lounge and we just pig out and we just bond and we love watching the show.
Love it.
Yeah, but I just wanted to ask, you've got to be a pro at dating by now, so I want to know if you had any tips.
I don't know about that. Have you seen the season so far? I'm messing up left and right, man. But I'll just say, don't be afraid to mess up. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Do not try to be perfect for someone. Let them see every quality that you have, the good, the bad, the ugly. Else, I don't think a relationship will ever truly work in the long run. just have fun with it. And, you know, I always say communication and trust are the two most important things. So value those up there.
Avoid your exes, right?
And avoid the exes. That'll help out. It'll make your life easier.
Who's next?
Hi, Peter.
Hello.
We have a Bachelor Draft tonight, so get ready.
Ooh.
But I just wanted to ask, because we've been really feeling for you, how has it been being separated from the woman that you've chosen since taping has ended?
What's that?
How do you feel?
So it's not easy living this secret right now at all. At first it was kind of like cool, and it was like, you know, just mysterious, and no one knows, and so you have the secret, and literally everyone wants to find out, but they don't know. But honestly, now I'm looking forward to just having it get out, and, you know, having everyone actually see what happens. Because yeah, I do sometimes just crave the normalcy of, you know, normal life before, and not having to live this secret. So I'm excited for the end.
Because how many months ago did you end filming?
We finished November 20th.
So it's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's hard. It's hard to keep it secret that long.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Hi, Peter.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good.
So my question for you is, how can you tell if someone is really interested in you for the right reasons?
Yeah, it's a great question. Maybe I wasn't spot on during the season either. But honestly, I think when I'm having a conversation with someone, eye contact, I try to really give myself 100% to everyone when I'm trying to, you know, invest in them. And, you know, eye contact, or just like small touches, signs of affection, you know, when I'm with them. Also, I think anyone, just when you're with someone on a date, you know if you're having a good time with them, if it's real, if it's like a genuine connection you guys have, or if they're not truly feeling it. You know, just, I think more, it's kind of like the intangible part. You can't really describe it. It's that feeling, you know you guys have a strong connection. But sometimes people are good at deceiving you, so yeah, that's the scary part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's hard with the show is, of course, there's 30 women, and some of them are there for the opportunity or the travel, but they're probably still open to finding love as well. I'm sure. Did you feel that way when you signed on to be on The Bachelorette? Is that, you know, it opens a few doors as well as the chance to find somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I never thought I had to go on this show to try to go find my person, obviously, but it was always more of a why not. It's such an amazing, beautiful experience. You get to do things you'd never normally do. And the end goal, the end prize is you could also find the love of your life. And what a cool way to also have that documented forever and to pass down your kids and your grandkids. And that was honestly a huge reason why I decided to do The Bachelor, was to hopefully have my story just, you know, kind of documented forever.
Yeah, and maybe even a televised wedding. It would be great.
With Chase Rice at the concert. It's perfect.
I mean, you and Chase looked like you were friends by the end.
He's a cool dude. Which made it even weirder, but whatever.
Yeah, you're like, it's complicated. All right, last question.
Hi, Peter.
Hey.
So I was just wondering, because you were on Hannah's season on The Bachelorette, and then you have your own season now. Do you have any regrets, like doing anything or like looking back, because you had to watch Hannah's season live and then your season live now? So just any regrets overall?
So with the Hannah season, I don't like to say I have regrets. I like to say, you know, mistakes. There's something I learned from moving forward. But with Hannah, I remember I was kind of closed off a little bit until the end. I was the last one to really express to her how I felt. I knew I felt it for a while, but I always kind of wish I would have done it a little bit sooner. Sometimes wonder what would have been happened between the two of us if I would have done that. But it is what it is. And you know, with my season now, you know, it's really easy for me to look back and nitpick at things that I did or I didn't do, but I don't know what the point of that is, because it was real life for me, and I was actually living it in the moment, and at that point making decisions just based on the information I knew and following my heart. I wasn't trying to make a bad decision on purpose. So I really don't have any regrets in that regard. Like the Alea stuff, I don't regret. I had to do that to really figure out where I was at with her. And if a lot of the women, I know they took that the wrong way, but I always felt confident the person that I wanted to end up with was going to be someone that was okay with me making my mistakes and doing what I had to do to feel really good about my decision in the end.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
I know, poor Alea. You brought her back, then you sent her back home.
Yeah, that was rough, but that was. I mean, she really is. Like, she's a great person too, and I really felt something with her, and that's why I decided to kind of take on those repercussions of bringing her back. But honestly, at some point, or at a certain point, it just, it was too much of a toxic environment for the entire house, and I had to make a decision just kind of for the greater good of everyone. And I think, you guys saw, like, it's not like I wanted to send her home. Like, I really didn't want to. Yeah. But I just realized, like, I had to make that tough decision in that moment. And that's why I did that.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have some tougher decisions to make. We can't wait to see how your season ends. Yeah. Thanks for being here. So this week, we have another episode on Wednesday night, and then The Bachelor airs on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Thank you so much, Peter,
Thanks for having me,
here.
guys. Thank you.